Hey, I'm Albo, and I love JDM cars and culture. In each episode in this multi-channel crossover series, I'll go on car adventures around Japan with Captain Bradford from JDM Masters, along with our car club and fellow YouTubers Japonic, Samit, Dustin Williams, and others. Join us as we do car stuff, explore Japanese culture, and show you what it's really like in the land of the rising sun. This is our JDM life, and we are the Super JDM Bros.
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りしました。
What's up, guys? So in today's vlog, I'm going to be talking a little bit about jobs in Japan, what kind of jobs that you can get, and how you can get those jobs. And I will also show you a quick preview of my next big video. I'm going to try to release like one big video like a month or something like that. And the next big video, which I'm going to be releasing on Saturday, is called I met a girl street racer on the Toge. So let's just check out the preview real quick.
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りしました。
For many car guys, someone who's also into cars is their veritable dream girl. But how car girls are sometimes depicted in media as street racers who work in their own cars and are all about that life is often quite different from the reality of the average influencer or e-girl with an A90 Supra trying to get insta-famous and promoting their OnlyFans to an army of simps. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But I digress. Rather than allowing myself to fall into a pit of despair and apathy while scrolling through my Instagram feed, I prefer to just hop in my car and go for a drive. And living in Japan, I've discovered that those dream car girls who actually run their cars hard actually do exist. You just have to be in the right place at the right time. This video is the story of one of those nights, and I'm gonna take you along with me as it happened. Okay, so hope you enjoyed that quick preview. Once again, that video is gonna be coming out on Saturday morning, California time, because I know a lot of you guys are in California, so just wait a couple more days for that. Okay, so back to the main point of the video, which is about jobs. So as you can see here beside me, I have my silver, what's the word for that? My silver YouTube award. And so I guess you could say I'm a legit YouTuber in a sense, but I still am not a full-time YouTuber. There's a bunch of reasons for this, and one of the main reasons is because to work in Japan as a foreigner, you need a visa, and that is kind of like the main crux of the issue here. Aside from being able to speak the language and actually getting access to like all the different jobs. But to work in Japan, you need a visa, and unfortunately there is no YouTuber visa. So you would have to self-sponsor yourself, which is quite a complicated process, or you could start a company and through that company then get something called a business investor visa, which is actually something I'm trying to pursue, and then you would be able to sponsor yourself to live and work in Japan. But okay, if you are not super famous YouTuber like myself, just joking, but if you don't have that option, well, what other options do you have available to you? Anyway, actually, I was planning to hit the gym, so let me continue talking about this topic while we head to the gym. Beautiful day. Beautiful day for the top down. Okay, so where was I? Right, let me give you a little bit of background. So maybe this is the first video you've clicked on my channel, and maybe because it seems interesting, maybe you want to come work in Japan. So let me just give you a little bit of a quick background. So my name's Albo, if this is your first one on the channel. I've lived in Japan for 10 years now, and I came to Japan on something called the JET program, which is an international program where you can come to Japan, basically teach English to kids in junior high school, kindergarten. I kind of did all that, and I did that for 5 years in the countryside of Gunma. And now I live in Yokohama, near Tokyo, and I actually work in a company in Tokyo, but I've been working from home for the past year because of COVID. Anyways, let's keep heading over to the gym. Okay. Ooh, nice and hot. Feels like summer today. Ooh, that is awesome. All right. So while we're waiting for the car to warm up, let's just briefly talk about English teaching here in Japan. Okay, so to my knowledge, there are several options. What you should do is you should look up the job ALT and check out the subreddit called teaching in Japan. So I was an ALT in Gunma for 5 years. I absolutely loved it because I was on the JET program. But there are a couple other programs which I can kind of sort of recommend. One of them is called Interac. And it is basically the same job as Japan, as JET, but it doesn't go through official government channels. It's a private organization, and so although the job is the same and the pay is similar, I believe on JET you make a little bit more, but everything is kind of way more set up for you. And I would definitely, of course, recommend JET, but it is a lot more challenging to get into, and the process is it takes a full year. It's quite a bit more stringent. But if you research about the ALT job and you decide you want to come to Japan as an ALT and you don't get into JET, Interac is another option. And there's another couple options which I might mention. One of them is called Eikaiwa. So an Eikaiwa is a language school. Usually it's a privately owned, or they're always privately owned language schools. Often you would teach one-on-one, or you would teach small classes, and the pay is going to be much worse than on JET, and probably you'll have to deal with your own insurance and do the taxes and all that stuff by yourself, and it's a huge pain in the ass. I did that for 2 years before my current job, but it did allow me to stay in Japan, so I'm very thankful for that. But as a job, just to get your feet wet, I mean, it might be easier to find an Eikaiwa job, especially if you are here in Japan. Maybe you could just go to one of these Eikaiwas and they might offer you a contract and sponsor your visa, although that, especially because of the pandemic, it is getting a little bit harder overall. And the other one I might mention is another company called GABA. Okay, yeah, the company's called GABA. And basically they do kind of like one-to-one lessons. And I've had some friends who have worked for that company. They say it's kind of not that great, but it is another option. So check it out on Glassdoor to see if it would be okay for you. Anyways, the car looks warmed up now, so we're gonna head over to the gym. And while I'm working out, I'll just give you guys more advice. So for most people, English teaching in Japan is kind of like a stepping stone to try and find like another career. Often people use it to a relatively chill, relatively easy job, although it can really depend. Relatively easy job which gives you time and lets you keep your energy to study Japanese, to improve that, so that you can find better jobs. Let's get into VTech for a bit. Woo! Oh my god. Okay, one thing, check out this clearance. Look at this. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Oh my god. Almost scraped the exhaust. Whew. That was close. Okay, so last little note on English teaching. With my time as an English teacher, I can honestly say I loved it. I think it's mostly due to my personality. You know, I love being that kind of social person and mentoring, you know, young people to help them figure out like what they need to know, what they need to do, and how to learn and, you know, just grow. But that being said, it's definitely not for everybody, and it is definitely a job that is kind of like a dead end in Japan. If you know your entire dream is to come to Japan to teach English, it's great for like maybe like 5 years, maybe like even like 10 years if you really can't, you know, scale up to do something else. But unless you're going to get start your own school, I would not recommend it for the long term. Okay, so that was just a quick workout. I just did my arms and my upper body today because I actually injured my knee during sparring a couple of weeks ago. S2000 is looking good, especially those painted brake calipers. Yep, that was a good move. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna get some lunch from the supermarket and cook it at home. But before that, let me just briefly talk about my job because a lot of people have been asking. I think a lot of people still think that I'm still an English teacher, but I haven't been for about 3.5 years now. Right now, I'm working at an American IT company, and I don't want to be too specific, but I do kind of work loosely in the movie industry, and I am kind of like working like IT and like a streaming platform. So I'll just keep it at that. But last year I was working with the Discovery Channel to launch their Motor Trend brand here in Japan, and so that was very, very cool. I had a consulting contract with them. But like, how did I get that kind of position from being an English teacher? And I think that might be of interest to some of you folks who might actually already be here in Japan as an English teacher. So what I did actually was I got my job through there are these agencies which will connect you to companies, and if you have some sort of marketable skill, whether it's in like finance or it's in if you have some industry experience in some particular field, like if you're in engineering, or if you have like some sort of like tech background, like in computer engineering or IT. My experience wasn't super crazy actually, but when I was on JET, I spent a lot of time kind of like building my own thing, and I built this website called like, the Jet Coaster, which you can probably still find some blog posts that I made years ago. And basically I made this community site, and that was kind of impressive enough for me to talk about, along with my being like a YouTuber, although at the time I had like 20,000 subscribers, and that was kind of like really enough to get my foot in the door for several big companies. Like I interviewed at Riot, and yeah, basically I just kept at it, and I was able to lock down this really, really amazing position on this amazing team on this really famous big American company. And like on one hand, I would say it's maybe like 40% luck, and then like 60% was just kind of like hustle and just like trying to get out there and find like something related to what I wanted to do, which was to actually get into kind of like the entertainment industry, because as you guys know, like my big dream is to produce a Hollywood movie. So we're like still quite a ways away from there, but we have made like kind of huge progress in the past few years. And I think part of it is when you have a big goal like that, it forces you to think several steps ahead and to think of like, okay, how am I going to achieve this huge goal? And just to take it like one step beyond just like practical thinking, and like applying for jobs and things like that, you have to have that self-belief that you are deserving of pursuing the dreams that you want. And once you have that self-belief, and once you can kind of believe and imagine that your huge dream is possible, start going for it. Anyways, let's head over to the supermarket. Let me get some food, maybe some beef, cook up some steak for lunch, and then I will end this video before going back to work, because I'm actually on my lunch break, and because of coronavirus I've been just working from home for about a year now. Okay, let's go. So look at this. This is pretty cool. This is like a baked sweet potato. So we're gonna okay. You can finish that whole thing. It's good though. And we're also gonna get 300 grams of steak for about $5. So we're gonna cook this up at home. And also some pak choy. This is my favorite type of veggie. How good does that look? Nothing better than a nice, juicy steak after hitting the gym before it gets too done. Maybe nice and medium rare. Okay, all done. Time to dig in. All right, so while I eat this. So like I was saying, I got my job through an agency, and you can reach out to these agencies. So I would recommend looking up a couple agencies like Robert Walters and just see if they have any opportunities available in Japan. Now, if you're already in Japan and you're trying to get to that next level, getting like a different job outside of English teaching, really you gotta, I think, build up some other different skill. So if you only have English, basically you will be like, if that's your only skill, the best thing you could probably do is start up an English school. But if like that's not your cup of tea, then maybe some like, what's probably the most useful is to learn a programming language, because that'll open up your opportunities in the IT world. Or you could go into like one of those agencies which I was talking about, and what they do is they're essentially recruitment firms, and you could be a recruiter or a headhunter. Although that does require a very specific type of like personality and skill set, and a lot of people are just not built for it. In which case you might have to learn Japanese to a very high level, N2 or N1. I'm just extremely lucky. Like, in fact, in the past couple of years my Japanese has gotten worse because my workplace is completely in English, and I only use Japanese in a casual sense because I communicate with my coworkers and colleagues entirely in English. So I'm just very lucky about that. Now, whether it's possible to become like a YouTuber or something and come to Japan and just do that, it's possible if you have a visa, and one of the visas you could ostensibly get is a marriage visa. So if you happen to meet like a nice Japanese lady and you get married, then you could basically do whatever business that you want. So hopefully that helps. Okay guys, I'm gonna end a video here, so hopefully it was a little bit educational for you guys, and let me know what other topics you'd like me to cover in this type of video series. So once again, look out for the next big video, which is coming out on Saturday morning, and I will see you guys in the next video. All right, peace.